Check. Check. Welcome to the stream. How's everybody doing? How's it going tonight? I'm playing some Crash Team Racing, which so far has actually been pretty good. It's better than some people said. A lot of people gave this game praise, but a lot of people also didn't. There was a couple of people that were extra harsh on this game, and some of them have since kind of taken it back. They've gotten a little bit better at the game. I played this back in the day, and even though it looks better, it's still just like it was back in the day. I mean, there's a lot of games now that just aren't hard, and games back in the day, there was quite a few of them that were super hard. Not that there's not hard games now, 'cause there's still games that are just hard, but overall, a lot of games hold your hands. And this game was never one of those. This game never held your hand. Damn. I keep getting hit. So, I mean, this to me was always the fun of the game. Even though you get hit, even though sometimes it's a little bit cheap, that's what this game always was. It's not really anything new. They didn't really mess with They didn't mess with the core gameplay of this, which I actually give them a lot of credit for, because they could have made this like Mario Kart. They could have like easied it up. They could have taken out any sort of challenge from the AI, because like this game just has different physics for it being a kart racer. It just definitely has different physics all around. And I mean, they could have cut that right out of the game. And they could have just made this super easy. And I'm playing the adventure mode. I'm only like 4 or 5 races in, maybe. And I've had to do a couple of them a couple times. I've already done this race like 3 or 4 times. But it's good because it makes you get better at the track. Like, that's pretty much what it does. So it's cracking for everybody. Welcome. If anybody is actually out in the chat tonight. I know it's a little bit late. It's a little bit late for a stream, but that's alright. 1970 Scout 800. What's cracking, man? What's going on? How's your night? How's your weekend been? What's new? What you playing? How's How's life treating you? Zelda N64 fan. Now people are starting to come in. That's excellent. I'm very glad to see. Very glad to see that. I've only been, like, I started the stream up. I made a thumbnail. I messed it up. It wasn't the right size. It had both Crash and Mario. I ended up just having to scrap it and using that dumb picture with the headphones on my face. So I figure for anyone scrolling through, if they happen to see it, that doesn't really help for an actual click. But I tried to make it so that the title was crap. I tried to make so that the title was seeable instead of it just saying Crash Team Racing. I tried to have it say Crash Team plus Mario Maker 2. So far, I've probably played about an hour of each, because today was a real busy day, and I was on the road for about like 6.5, 7 hours today, and I was supposed to be going on a whale watch, and I ended up missing that. So we took a 7-hour drive. We spent about 6.5, 7 hours on the road just to go get pizza. Like, that was pretty much what happened. Got Mario Maker 2 yesterday. Been driving your RC crawler. What's a crawler? I'm guessing that's not a car. I'm guessing that's a maybe like a mechanical robot kind of thing? Or do you just mean RC car? I haven't kept up with RC cars in a long time. I remember when I was like 14 and my friend had one of those real gas powered with like the nitrous boost gas, and we used to just like dump the gas on the sidewalk and burn things with it. I mean, that was kind of after like he killed the RC car, but that thing was a beast. That thing could do everything. It was fast too. Take that. A remote controlled rock crawler. Oh, nice. Dude, those things are pretty cool. I know you can have like, you can get like 6 or 8 inches of travel on that thing. I mean, unless it's a like legit monster, like super huge. Dang. 4th. I thought I was in 3rd. Man. Zelda N64 fan, right? You just subscribed like the other night? It's hard to tell. Like, I had someone say the other day that they were subscribing, and then he didn't. At least I'm pretty sure he didn't. And this is another YouTuber that I know. He said he was gonna he said just subbed, and then he left. But the sub number didn't go up, and like in my notifications and stuff, he wasn't there. So I think he kind of just lied about it. He's not like really a close friend or anything. I think he just kind of said it. Oh, come on. So how you guys liking Mario Maker? I haven't made a course yet. I haven't like messed around with any of that. I pretty much just played some of the story, and then I played quite a few different levels that people made. High speed. So far, Mario Maker, I like just the story mode. I like those courses. I played probably about 7, maybe like 7 or 8 of them, and they were pretty good. I give Nintendo credit, because it could have just been Mario Maker. Like, I was really surprised that they even bothered making their own courses for the game, because they didn't have to, and they could have just kept that as like a download, like down the way, or they could have put it as like possible DLC or something like that, and they didn't, so that's kind of cool. And some of those courses are actually pretty hard, and it's nice to see. You see a lot of like crazy courses that other people make, and it's nice to see the actual dev team just take the basic maker elements and do like a modern take on an old school type of level, like even a Super Mario World. Because aside from the people made ones, we don't get the pleasure of getting new levels like that, other than from Mario Maker. But they're not in the Nintendo style, if you know what I mean. Oh damn. Third. How's everyone doing? Heavy hitters? Gaming with Lappy, how you doing, man? Dude, I've been meaning to play Skyward Sword. That's a game that I never played, and I actually picked it up. I picked it up like a month ago. It was like, I got it for like $10. And I haven't played it. I played a little bit of it back in the day. And, I didn't have a Wii, so I finally bought it. And I kind of got it just because it was a good deal. I had been meaning to buy it because I got a Wii U at the end of this past year. And I've been meaning to buy it even just digitally, but then I found the physical disc, even though it's from GameStop, so it's kind of beat up. It actually wasn't worth it. But if it doesn't work, at least I'll still have it for the shelf and I can always buy it digital. I'm still kind of hoping that it might come to the Switch, or that maybe we get like a pack. I don't know, I'm not really counting on it or holding my breath towards that, but you never know, we might see it. I think it's possible. I mean, especially if Nintendo's actually serious with their whole having like a Zelda title. Like, it's kind of weird that they had said that like 2 years ago or last year or whatever it was, saying that they wanted to have a new Zelda title on the platform every year. Because without ports, I mean, you're not putting out a new game every year, like a new Zelda game. You're just not. So I would think that they at least had it in their mind that that's what they would do and put some ports on it. So hopefully we get the Skyward HD. Like, that'd be awesome. Let's get it. I'm gonna go this way this time. This is great. I pulled out the original just the other day when I was playing it in anticipation for this. I'm actually surprised. A lot of people said, yeah, this is a good game. God damn it. Oh, that's the end of that one. A lot of people said, yeah, this is pretty great. There's a little bit of some AI issues, and it's a little bit tougher than what people remember the initial game being. And that it can use maybe a little bit of help with the online, which I haven't played the online yet, so I don't know. That probably still needs help though. And oh, do you, man? You got Ocarina tattoo sleeve? That's awesome. I'll have to see that sometime. Yeah, I definitely. They could have done more with the Bloodstain for the Switch. I gotta say, like, you look at the PS4 or Xbox versions of it. Wow, what happened to GameStop? GameStop is no more. What happened to the old GameStop? Oh man, Sometimes I accidentally push A for go. A is for go. B is for break. I gotta win this one this time. If not, I think I might just do one other and then be done with this for the time being. But yeah, I think what happened with Bloodstained, you know, you look at the PS4, you look at the Xbox, or the PC. PC is obviously the shining example. And then you look, oh, I should have saved that, damn it. And then you look at the Switch version, and it's definitely slow. Handheld is, I mean, it's doable. Luckily, it's a small enough screen, but it's pretty rugged. But I think what happened was that they just initially wanted, like, the PS4 and the PC to be the main ones. Like, I don't think they even had it for Xbox when the campaign first came out. I think it was just PC, PS4, and Wii U. And then obviously that died, so they got like a year and a half into making the game, and then they realized that the Switch was going to be coming out. And then I don't know if they started a new version, or if they were just like, hey, let's just keep the Wii U version going, just in case it could release on that. You know, or because, I mean, technically, the Switch could have flopped. Like, at this point, I'm sure they weren't sure that the game was gonna be out. Like, they probably figured it would have been out last year, so if the Switch had only sold, like, you know, 3 or 4 million Switches by that point, and they had another Wii U on their hands, they probably would have just put out the Wii U version for anyone who signed up for the Kickstarter and was interested in that. Because, you know, everyone signs up, they put down what platform they prefer it on, and all that stuff. So they probably just went ahead and they were like, we'll keep making the Wii U version, because, you know, that's what people signed up for. And, you know, at that time, they didn't know how long the game was going to take to come out. They didn't know, you know, more people were going to be into it than were, and that the Kickstarter was going to be a success, and, you know, that the game wouldn't be like, you know, air quotes, good enough. Hey, I tied. And I think that doesn't count. Really? Gamesta's channel's gone? I mean, when he comes back, you're going to be able to hear his voice. He's probably going to come back, and he's going to have some other stupid channel. He should have just deleted the channel months ago, and he should just show his face. He's like, oh, I hope you guys like this video, and it's just a black screen because he just puts his phone face down. He just puts the camera face down. It's like, dude, just put your face on camera. Come on, Glayen. We want to see your face. Show us your face. Oh, I bet it looks outstanding on the X. I mean, I've only looked at footage. Well, Xbox One, so... Alright, damn, I'm gonna race this one more time, because tying... Even though I had the same exact time, by the millisecond, it's still not good enough. It doesn't count. But it's like, man, you know, if you're gonna sit there and talk all this shit on YouTube, put your face. You can't sit there and talk shit if you're not gonna show your face, unless you don't know, unless you, like, work for something, and, you know, there's a chance you, like, lose your job, or you just don't want the controversy or whatever it is. Go ahead and pass. So he'll probably be back, but you'll be able to tell that it's him as soon as he opens his mouth. Like, dude, his whole community is just hilarious, how they take everyone's name and they make, like, dude, I even commented on one of his last videos, and I was like, hey, Gamesta, I was like, will you please roast me next? And then I watched further into whatever video it was. I think it was the last one that he posted. Or, I mean, I haven't looked at his channel in, like, maybe a month. But the video was just black, and it was just audio. Or he had a podcast. Air quotes. Podcast. where him and like 2 or 3 other dudes just sat there and they just were like raving about Xbox and just shitting on the PlayStation and the Switch. And they were all just talking over each other. It was hilarious. But I was like, when are you gonna roast me? When are you gonna come after me? And then when I got further into that cast, I started like commenting on whatever and trying to get like under his skin just to see if he would actually do it. And he never commented back, and he never made a video. I was kind of hoping he would. I forget what the point of me saying that was. I really do. I forgot. But yeah, it's just funny how all his goons over there, they would just take whatever channel name and just add something stupid to it, whether it was Bag 'em Ups or 8-bit, whatever. And then for you, Lappy, I saw that someone had made like the fake screen name like Gaming with a Small Cock. And then they have like Overdrink Gaming, and I'm like, dude, you guys are just like literally just a bunch of losers. Like, it was so hilarious. Wait, he went on camera at work? Or, oh, you did. The Gears title screen. I don't know if that was for that podcast. Because that podcast, from what I remember, I thought it was just a black screen. Yeah, you had a few videos on that, and then he just kept talking his talk. It was just hilarious. I wonder what he's gonna come up with next. Because you know he'll be back, and it'll be the same kind of videos. I mean, unless his channel got just completely, like, deleted right off of YouTube for, like... Which, I mean, you would think if he was gonna, he would have already had it taken down, like, 3 or 4 months ago. Just for all the different things he was saying about, like, wood and... You know, it's not really that he said it, but it's what he said. You know, he kind of went over the line. But it's funny, because a lot of people on YouTube, they get away with it. Saying stuff like that, talking about his girl, all the stuff that he said, and then other people don't even say anything close to that, and they get, maybe not their channel taken away, in some cases though, yeah, or other people say stuff, or they just get demonetized. So I wonder if he actually got it taken down for a reason, like YouTube did it, or if he just deleted it, will come back with the same kinds of videos, just audio, with him talking, and it'll be like, I don't even know what his name will be. It'll just be spelled different. Aw, shouldn't have drove into that. See, that's how I gotta beat this level. That was a good little drift wave going on there. Come on.
This one's mine.
Come on, damn it. Damn. Shit. Oh well. What you gonna do? So, Leppy, you still there, man? What do you have questions about? I saw your reply. You said you had Instagram. I always get confused on that. I don't have Instagram, but I do have Twitter. And I do have Facebook. Let's see. What did you... You have Twitter, but you don't use it. You're on Instagram. Yeah, that's what I thought. Set up your Delgado. See, I suck at streaming. Even myself, I need a pro. Like, really, I really need, like, a pro to come in. Because I don't know if you were in my live stream the other day. I forget. But I try putting the turkey's basement. Hey, yo. How's your turkey doing today? You got it in the freezer in the basement? Or you just got it chained up? And it's just hot and the meat's just falling off of it. I don't know why I said that. But greetings. How's it going? Yeah, I've been trying to... yeah, you got to keep it in the freezer. I've been trying to, you go into YouTube, you get the encoder tag number thing, you put that into like Streamlabs or OBS. I have both of those downloaded. And then I was able to stream through them, no problem. Like one night I actually tried to go into YouTube and I scheduled the live stream to be like 15-20 minutes away. Like, yeah, I'll play your Super Mario Maker level. I'm putting it in right now. But I was trying to set up the stream for like at the top of the hour, which was like 20-25 minutes away. I hear big dog barking outside. Man, there's a lot going out there tonight. I live next to like one of the biggest museums. It's come to like huge prominence in America like over the past like 10 years, and they have like a concert going on down there. And the thing's like huge every single year, and it just gets bigger and bigger every single year. But anyways, I was trying to do this live stream at the top of the hour. It was like 25 minutes away, and I had it scheduled for then. And then when I actually hit live, or when the actual schedule for it went live, I went to the Streamlabs and clicked live, and it wasn't connecting with it. And then I was able to, because right now I just go to the Elgato capture software, and then you can put in, well, I guess you can do YouTube and Twitch and a couple others. Let's see. Or wait, do I want the core spot? No, I don't want the core spot. Why do I keep doing that? I keep hitting B. Right, course world, right? ID. So yeah, Leppy, I'm just streaming from the Elgato software, but I'm sure you probably played around with like the overlays and stuff. You can't really get too crazy with it. Like you can have like a picture, you can, I mean, it's sort of like Streamlabs because you can do like the different scenes, but you can't get too crazy with it. There's a lot to be done, and it's, yeah, that's probably the easiest way to do it. I mean, I gotta mess around with it a little bit more too. I need to make a second channel just so I can mess around a little bit more. That way I can go live, schedule things, and just leave it on public without having to worry. Follow your Insta, turkey. Let's see what you got. I mean, it depends how crazy you're trying to go with it. Like, me, I wish I could just have this all set up, and if someone new subscribes, like, you know, a thing comes up, or I can create a sweet graphic for it, or, you know, like, even like my camera, it's like, I don't want anything fancy around the camera, but there are some cool things you can do. Like, I wouldn't really put, like, a border. But, like, just having things pop up if something happens, or... That's why it almost seems like a stream deck is the easiest way to go. Like, maybe not in terms of setting the parameters up, but once you actually get it going, then you just push a button. Because, like, it's pretty cool that you can have all the macro functions and you can set, like, 2 different buttons for 2 different types of zoom and things like that, so that if I die, like, you see, like, people on, like, live streams, like, if I die, you can just hit the button and it'll just turn the gameplay off and the screen will just fill up with just the camera. And there's a lot that you can get going with it, and it's like, I've had a lot of people say, like, oh man, you ever need help, just, you know, like, just ask. Damn, I'm gonna die. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing here. I think, or okay, I'm supposed to just, oh, I wasn't looking at my Mario. Damn. Die. Oh, okay, so there is like a floor down there. I got I got bugs flying all over. Take that. Okay, so you got the plants going all the way. Nice. Yeah, man, they have a new stream deck which has like, man, that thing has like 20 buttons on it. But it still seems like it'd be tough because you have to go in and like program everything. Like, I've tried pretty much using both OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS. Ah, I knew it. I knew that fireball was gonna get me. Get a Steam Deck. Whoops. I'm gonna beat this. I don't know, I did a video the other day just going through a couple of the first, like, story mode levels. I was like, man, my Mario skills are rusty just like that. I used to be good. Well, I'm still good. It's still in there. I just need to get the grease going. But yeah, man, I've watched like full videos on like full streaming setup or like full streaming tutorial, and then you see like the typical YouTube thing where it's like, oh, for those of you that don't know, you know, you get 100 subs, you can get your custom URL. Or, you know, the fact that you used to have like the 4,000. Let's die. You used to have the 4,000 watch hours to be able to live stream, and then you see them just basically say like the basic stuff, like, you know, oh, there's a new creator studio, there is the classic one. Man, why is the stream lagging? I hope the stream's just lagging out on my end and not for you guys. Because it's crazy. My streams were better quality Okay. That throws me off. I thought for a second that the stream just died out completely. Because it did that the other day and I didn't notice it for probably like 3 or 4 minutes, I think. And I was just like, damn. And it's weird too because I actually hardwired my computer with the wire going through my... Damn. I'm just trying to beat this course. But I can't. It's too good. You see that? I just jumped right into his mouth. Man. But yeah, Leppy, it's like, I've typed in for videos, you know, like, full stream setup, and you just see, like, people's gear. And it's like, no, ah, man. You're tricking me good. Between these tornadoes and the fireballs. And you always just see, like, people's gear. Like, they're like, oh, I got this monitor. You know, of course, got the Delgado. Yeah, I've done that too. And then I see the basic OBS where it's like, you know, to stream. Like, I've typed in a bunch of different things. And I think I just end up usually typing in the same thing so I don't see too much. But I've looked up, like, a lot of things. Like, even before I actually got my computer and start... Those damn fireballs. And it's usually the same kind of thing, like, oh, to stream on YouTube, you do this and this. If you're doing on Twitch, this and this, you're probably going to be using OBS, or OBS Studio, or Streamlabs OBS. And then it's like, to set this up, you go here. If you want your own, or, well, if you want templates, you know, Twitch has them on the sides. You can get them for free, just download them. If you want to make your own, blah, 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 you can get, like, the PNG files and all that kind of... I did jump on his head. It's like, oh, you can get the PNG files from different sites. But then when it comes time to actually, like, implement them is when it gets hard. Like, I've actually gone in... I need to get that mushroom. Yeah, right. Screw your course. I like it, but boo at the same time. Yeah, you got that good mic. That's the next thing I need is, like, just a little bit better of a mic. And other than that, just better stuff for the videos. Because there's, like, I have a lot of ideas for videos in my head. And there's only been a few times where I've really taken, like, hours. But I have these other ideas for other things. And it just seems to sometimes just be easier. Like, yesterday Mario Maker comes out. Just seems to be, well, it's obviously easier to take 20 minutes. Well, like a half hour total. And record for 10, 15 minutes. You know, edit out some of the fluff, put a little bit of music or whatever. Played this course yesterday. This one's pretty cool, actually. You know, it's easier to just do that and record real quick. Put some music, cut it. Quick thumbnail. That was good. Alright, I forget. I think this... I only have so much time is what it is. Yeah. He does have good quality, but I know he's like, well, he seems like he's got a good camera. I don't know how good he is really at editing, But he's got like that good, you know, he's got like good lighting and the sneakers and stuff in the back, so that looks pretty cool. You know, he's got the cool gaming chair. And then, I mean, he's got, you know, the cool shoes in the back. You know, he's into the shoes. He's always got like the cool hat. And then, yeah, what's your course ID? Did you put that up here? No, you didn't, I don't think. Sure, I'll try out your course. And yeah, Overthink, he's good at art, and like, even when I first saw his channel and I saw just like his OT, like his whatever, his little trademark bubble or profile bubble, I was like, that's pretty cool. And I've never actually like blown it up and seen it up close, but it looks like you know, it looks like he did it with like either paint or like colored pencils, or even in a program. It's a little bit hard to tell, but like, he's good at that. You know, he's got good channel art, and then he keeps his thumbnails consistent. That's one of the things I just haven't done. None of my thumbnails are consistent at all. Yeah, that helps too, you know. I always thought he just had a regular pipe, but I don't think I've ever I don't think I've, well, yeah, I've looked at it before. I was going to say, I didn't think I ever looked at it on the big screen. Oh, he's got a pipe, yeah. I mean, that's, you could call that whatever. His pipe has got tobacco. I mean, let's be real. Let's see. Frick. W84. T to G. Yeah, who came up with that? Did you just find that leprechaun like on the internet, or did you like draw it out? Like, that's one thing I wasn't sure what to do with my channel. I've had like a couple different things, and I've made a few different things, and from time to time there was like a week or two where oh no. Oh, I thought that was like an overview. I wasn't even paying attention. Dude, why does this level move so fast? Yeah. Screw this level. I can already tell. Unless you can go under that cloud. Ah, wait, you have to defeat them all. Okay, I didn't... See, it's like, yeah, I knew some of these levels people would make were either going to be ridiculous or just like super easy. Reach the goal after defeating all of them. So yeah, you can't just skip them, or the level just keeps going at that point. I want to see you beat this. I want to see someone beat this. I can't beat it. These are... That's what you typed in. Yeah, I can jump over him. It seems that there's... I mean, there's enough time to jump on their head, but I want to see you beat it. See, like right there, it's... See, I mean, I think you can kind of fudge it like that. With the screen pushing you, does that work? Make your own Mario game out of Mario Maker 2. Like, I had that thought too. Like, I'm guessing someone else has probably done that. Sega CD boy. I mean, you have the right to think that anything... You have the right to not like drugs or laugh at drugs. I mean, I don't do drugs anymore. I did at one point, and, you know, a little fun goes a little bit overboard. I had other friends, you know, that are just dead because of it, but I guess that's just how it goes. I still think it can be funny at times, but it's more like a coping kind of thing, or whatever. I was watching The Completionist, and I think he did the, yeah, I updated my Mii character, and he didn't update on here. I'm not sure why. See, my ranking, or my history is already pretty bad. Anyone else sees this fly? I was liberated. It took a little bit, but I learned better. And unfortunately, yeah, a lot of my friends are dead. Like one of my really good ones, he died from heroin overdose. He like, it's just crazy because I was good friends with him, and then his wife, she went out to school in like a pretty big populated area that was like turning bad, and then like the following time I saw him, he was like into that stuff, and that was like months later. And then, whoa, what just happened? All right, this thing's gonna push me. Yeah, Leppy, I mean, it happens. I'm sure you've seen similar, or... Yeah, I don't like alcohol either. I grew up with that in my family, and I mean, I had a drinking spree, like, right after I graduated high school. For like 3 months, we were waking up and drinking tequila every day, and I mean, I was in a band, like, we were doing the band at that time, so it was fun, but after even just like 2 or 3 months of like waking up and just that being like the whole day, like, it was like, one day we drank, like, there was like 3 of us, and we drank like a half gallon of vodka between the 3 of us. Next day was both of us. Again, we drank that half of the leftover half and another half gallon of vodka. Then the next day was like 4 of us, and we got 2 half gallons, and those were gone. Oh, I ran out of time. Those were gone seemingly fast. And at one point, there was just, my friend's closet was just full of empty half gallons of vodka. And I mean, we used to like go and buy like tequila, or we would drink like, we would drink tequila for breakfast. And we'd go to like we'd go to the grocery store and buy limes. And there was this one time, there was just like 5 of us buying like these fistfuls of limes. And this old guy's like, I know what you're up to. And we were like, no, you don't. And he just laughed like, yeah, right. Oh, crap. Yeah, I was saying in my last live stream, like, one of my other friends, he had, I don't know, he had debt with, like, some hardcore, like, New York City drug dealer, and then someone else put, like, debt on his name, like, behind his back, and this dude was just like, oh, you owe me, instead of, like, the 10 grand that you owe, like, this other girl said that the other 10 is on you, and they were basically like, we want, like, 20 grand, and, I don't know, he got arrested, and he basically snitched on him, and then I saw him one day in front of my mom's house, and, he was just standing, like, I don't think he even knew that I lived there. He was just standing, like, at my fence. And I was like, dude, what the hell are you doing here? And he was like, oh, damn it. And he was like, oh, I'm done. Like, I'm moving. He's like, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting clean. I already have a job. Like, it's time to start my new life. And I was just like, man, I'm so glad to hear that. Like, you know, we grew up as kids. I'm like, it was hard to see you go through all that. And, you know, you definitely gone through a lot of stuff. Like, you definitely deserve to get away and start fresh. And a lot of other people are dead, so you're actually like really lucky. And he's like, yeah, I have a job. Like, I'm basically sitting here with my cousin and she's at her aunt's or whatever, and then in the next 10 minutes, like, I'm basically moving like 4 or 5 hours away. And he was like, you might see me like down the line, and I'll probably be back at some point, but you might not actually see me for a bit. And then I don't know what happened. His sister called him and basically wanted him to come back, and I don't know, the dealers were like pestering him, or the dealers were pestering her, and she called up his brother, and he was only gone for like 3 days, like trying to start his new life. And she was, damn it, why can't I get that? Yeah, it definitely is. But what happened to my friend is, you know, I saw him that day, and then like 3 days later, his sister was like, oh, these guys are like pestering me. They came up and they saw him at the supermarket or something. They basically abducted him from the supermarket. Like, there was like surveillance footage of them like pulling him out of the supermarket and stuffing him in the car, and they were basically like, oh, bro, like, don't, you know. They were like, we're not mad at you, like, even if you did snitch on us. They were like, we just have some new stuff and we want you to like try it out and basically go and get it on the streets. And well, they just brought him out to some Bronx apartment building, and they just like put two in his back and one in his head. And he was reported missing, but they didn't find him for, it was like 10 days or something like that. I mean, this was like, he's been dead like 4 years now. And it's like, oh, he went missing. People were looking everywhere, and I was like, no. I was just like, yeah, he's gone. Like, unfortunately. But yeah, my family's got its share of alcohol users. And like, growing up, it's like, some people can handle their booze, some can't. And it definitely can be just kind of like a turn off. Like, I mean, like, for me, I don't drink. Like, I can't even remember the last time I drank. But when I drink, it's when I'm with people and like going to do something, and then I drink to get wasted. So that's never a good thing, but at least it's not one of those functional 12-pack a night that's like, I'm good. So that's not really me. It's all or nothing, you know. But even just, I don't know, even just the other day, I saw my friend's mom. I went to school with him in like 6th grade, and he overdosed too last year. And I was just like, oh man, I saw his mom the other day, and I was like, remember me? And she was kind of like, who am I remembering? And I just looked at her, and she was kind of like, oh yeah. And I was just like, how you doing? Like, really, how you doing? Like, heard about, you know, your kid. And I was just like, that sucks. And that's just like, you know, unfortunately, that's just like the reality of it. It's like, it sucks hearing bad news like that. It's like one of my other good friends too. I saw her like 3 weeks before she died. And I saw her at the gas station. I hadn't seen her in probably like a year. And she was like, oh my God. And she was like buying like pizza. And in in the like glass case kind of thing, they had this like fake piece of pizza. And she's like, "Is that thing real?" And I was like, "No. Or at least I don't think so." And she's like, "Poke it, see if it's real." And I'm sitting there poking this fake piece of pizza, like sitting there laughing with her. And like I had my dog with me, like we were sitting there just like chatting. My dog tried to bite her. I was like, feeding pizza, like he likes pizza, and he took the pizza crust and then tried to bite her. And I sat there and hung out with her for like an hour when I was just going to the gas station for like a quick minute. And then I'm just like, all right, get a hold of me, like, see you later. And then, I don't know, like, yeah, like, I want to say it was maybe 3 weeks later. And I, like, come out while I'm, like, on my lunch break. And it's like my brother's friend. He was, like, cousins with her, and he had, like, posted on Facebook that, you know, RIP. And I was just like, what? Like, oh my God, like, no. How do I get through this? Ah, nice. Ah. Man, it's getting hot up in here. Woo.
Oh yeah.
Luigi, I'm not having trouble, okay? I don't need your help. Is anyone still watching? Anyone still out there? You know, I kind of hit you with the hard feels, but unfortunately, that's kind of the way it goes. Be addicted to video games instead, kids. I was reading some article the other day about video game addiction, and it was just done terribly, and I just kind of sat there and laughed at it. I gotta hit the sack too. I always go to bed way too late. I'm over here on the East Coast, so it's 1 in the morning. Oh, Turkey's basement. Let's... Why are you deleting it after? Is it because you know that I'm not gonna complete it? Oh, do you live on the East Coast? I thought you lived... Oh wait, you live in Ohio. So... Does Ohio count as East Coast? I mean, I'm guessing not really, but... Same time zone. I don't look at a map too often, and I know you're a driver, but I don't look at a map very often. I know where it is. Like, I could point it out. But I was thinking it was a different time zone for some reason. Is there a way to, like, add you on here? See, how do the maker points work? Like, so that's your versus rating. So I'm guessing you've played a little bit. I'm gonna report you. Oh, that's cool. You wrote my name, man. Thank you. 4D-dub. Speedrun, short and sweet. What, Nick? Is that how you're supposed to say the name? Oh, crap.
Oh yeah. Mario time.
See, now, how did you, how did you have a different... How did you have a different title? Like, title screen? Because on the title screen... Right? Isn't the picture there? Isn't that supposed to be the level? Or that's what it used to be, right? Okay. Yeah, you've already uploaded like several. And these all take time, even like the easy ones. Like here it says D-Dub, and I see it's got the flag and the heart. Like on the original, I thought that was like the picture of the actual level, and then like I thought D-Dub was spelled out in blocks. Like I thought that was the actual level. And then when you go here, there's no like D-Dub written in blocks. Like I thought that the like title card or whatever you want to call it, I thought that was based off of what the level actually looked like. 'Cause I think on the original Super Mario Maker it would show that, and people would put like the same with like a D-Dub written in like block letters, but then when you actually click it, like the level would be like in like block letters or however they like set it up, but it would actually look like the course would actually look like what the picture looks like. Because if I go to like, see these ones actually represent, you know, what the level looks like what the Mad Lab is evolving. Like I can tell when you jump into that level, you're gonna have the mini Bowser and the door with the key. See, I haven't actually like made a level, so I guess when I do it, I'll have to see how that goes. Cause like these just have a screenshot of like the beginning of the level. I'll have to check that out. I'll test the Super Hammer. Let's see what this is all about. See, I don't recall even like the Spark shoes. Like, it's been a long time since I played. See, that's right, I forget that you have like the long jump. And since I haven't really played too many of these levels yet. See, I don't even know what you're talking about. Use my building blocks? See, like this, like I don't even remember Mario ever doing that. Like, looks like he's gonna throw up. And the same for like the Spark shoes. Like I've never even. Right, this is Super Mario 3D World, right? I didn't actually beat that, but I played through probably like 90% of that. 'Cause, I mean, I only bought that at like the beginning of this year. Yeah, I don't even recall that. Like, I would never figure that out on my own. If you just said building blocks and then never said anything again, I would sit here for like hours and then I would just give up and be like, I don't know how to do that. That's crazy. I've never seen that. I don't know how I missed that. Like, is that just in this game? Wait, why did it go back here? I'm guessing that's just in the Mario 3D World mode, right? Man, there's a monster fly in here. Lewis Prower, how you doing? Turkey's Basement, that's only in the game, only in this game's mode? That's actually a good idea, Virtua Racing. I played quite a bit of that. It's such a good game. Yeah. Go ahead and submit it. I'll check it out. That's one thing, like, you know, I bought this yesterday. I started playing it. I started playing the single player mode. I did the video on it. Like, I ate supper, started playing another little bit, played a couple courses. You know, hanging out with my kid, hanging out with my girl. Ate dinner, like, brought my dogs out. And then next thing you know, it's like midnight, 1 in the morning. And I'm like, man, I gotta go to bed. And then today I was supposed to go on a whale watch that was like 3 hours away, and that didn't end up happening. And I basically ended up on the road I basically drove around today for like 6.5 hours. And instead of going to a whale watch, we got pizza. So I basically spent literally 6.5 hours today on the road just to go get pizza instead of going basically out into Cape Cod. And so then we didn't get home till like 5, and at that point I was just like, I'm just sitting here. I watched some YouTube videos, and then when I picked my Switch up, I started playing Crash Team Racing, because that was the last thing I had loaded up for it. And then finally at midnight is like when I started streaming. Well, actually, I was watching the Spawncast. I'm sure you guys are... Dude, that pizza was actually really good. I told it was like a Lebanese dude, like an older guy and his kid. And they were cool too, because we got back in the car, my girl left her phone. Like, my kid, he was kind of like playing with her phone. And then he had like a full soda bottle with the cap off. Oh, I saw that coming too. I didn't have the cat-like reflexes. And he was playing around. I was like, he's gonna knock over that soda onto your phone. So I put the phone in the booth. And then when we left, my girl, she just kind of got up out of the booth and just completely moved right over the phone without like even touching it. And then like, oh man. And then like 15 seconds later, the guy came out and was like, oh man, you forgot your phone. And that was like the younger kid, and I was like, dude, thanks so much, man. Because we were like 2 hours away from where I live. And I was like, if we left your phone out there, I was like, we probably wouldn't have been going back for it for like, I was like, you might be making the drive back. Instant replay.
Open.
Alright. Like, I'm pretty sure I should have got killed there. I mean, the thing, it hit me. See, I was falling, and then it pushed me out of the way. I couldn't do that again. I could never do that again. I think this was my favorite part of the game. Was like I was waiting for this castle to fall down, and I was like, well, how's that gonna happen? Okay, there's the freaking course button. Like, uh-oh. And then, like, here comes the dog, and I was like, oh no, it's the dog. And I knew he was gonna sit there and step on the button. And then the single player mode. Yeah, they're all like, ah, no. And then in the single player mode, you go and like talk to the dog, and he's like, is there any of those buttons laying around? Like, I kind of want to step on it. Yeah, I have a wife. Pizza is great. Fried chicken, spicy chicken. Tricky Dodge, yeah. Dude, I've never played a Sega Saturn. Like, it's kind of weird because oh, so that thwomp shouldn't have actually killed me? It should just push me out of the way? I thought it should have killed me. Dude, fake mustache 25, what's going on? Yeah, I don't even know what I was just gonna say. Okay, that makes sense then. I thought it just, yeah, the Sega Saturn, I don't even recall ever touching a Sega Saturn, except, I mean, like, I had to at one point look at what a controller for those looked like, because I was like, I don't think I've ever even touched one of those, but I do think I played, like, an old kiosk for one. But at that, I mean, I would have probably been like 8, maybe, at that time, which is not like something that I shouldn't be able to remember. I know it's a good system. It's kind of like the Dreamcast, too, in the fact that, like, there's not that many around. There's like 10 million around, like, and unfortunately, if you want to collect, like, I'm really hoping that Sega just, they need to get past putting out the Sega Genesis collection. Like, alright, in September we have the Sega Genesis Mini. I think that'll be like the I think that'll be like the definitive way to actually start to finish putting out. Like, I think that'll be the definitive way to play those games. But I mean, how many times have they done like, the Sega Genesis collection is on PS2. The Sega Genesis Arcade collection, featuring 50 games, is on the Xbox 360. It's on the Xbox 360 Arcade. It's on the Xbox One. It just came to the Nintendo Switch. And, you know, how many Sega Saturn games that you can't actually buy are, like, available to buy anywhere out there? It's like, you just can't. I know the thing that sucks for is that there's, like, 3 different, like, CPU / like graphics cards, so emulating them is never really been like a decent thing you can do. Like, most of the emulation is, it's kind of like the N64 games when you put them on the Super Nintendo Classic. Like, they're sort of playable, I guess you could say, but not really. They're just barely playable. And so I'm hoping they can get their emulation good, because, I mean, maybe in the next year or two, maybe we'll see something. I would love a Sega Saturn Mini, because, like I said, that was just one of the, like, other than my brother, I didn't know anybody with a Dreamcast. Like, he bought his on launch day, and that was one of the coolest things ever. Like, at that point, I barely even knew what the thing was. And he had Soul Calibur, Quake 3 Arena, and I think the original Power Stone, and Hydro Thunder with it. Like, he went all out. He spent like $700 on it, and that was like launch day. Yeah, Saturn games. I mean, you look at like NES, Super Nintendo. If there's any type of retro store or Goodwill and they have whatever, say they have a boxed Earthbound and it's $980, and then they have I forget some of the names, but I know them, like the top Sega Saturn games. It's like those are expensive. And then if for like Super Nintendo you want old sports game, you can get it for like $2-3. You want an old sports game for Sega Genesis, you can get it for like 50 cents. You want an old sports game for Sega Dreamcast, you can get NFL or like like NFL 2K, like the original 2K, like 00. For like $2, you want to get NHL or baseball for like Sega Saturn. It's like you can't even find those games like for cheap dirt like that. Like even some of those games will cost you money, like 10, 20, 30, 40 and up, depending like the title and if there's a variant and who made it and all those kinds of things, which is both the fun part and the frustrating part of collecting. It's fun if you're you know, it's fun if you own those games. I don't know why I just keep doing this over and over and just dying. No, it's not the fact that Earthbound is rare. It's because it's not rare. A lot of the big box, the box for it is rare more than anything, because everyone in those days just sort of ripped their games open and just sort of threw it out. Not everyone. Probably most adults like actually kept it nice, but most kids, that thing would have just got trampled and they just would have threw it out. So it's really more like the box, not the cartridge. Even though, well, I mean, I guess you got to imagine too the amount of them that got thrown out. Like I said, I still have, well, I mean, my brother, I gotta get the collection on the channel at some point. We have a box of, and I say we because it's like half of those are mine too, even though they're at his house. And as far as I know, he still has them. And if he doesn't, I'd be so mad. But we have a box of NES games, and there's probably like 200 games in there. And it's to the point where I watch like people's like NES top cartridges, or you know, some of the rare stuff or some of the hidden gems, some of the ones that are both like hidden gems and good games and worth a decent amount. And I'm like, man, all of those are like, not all of them, but most of them are in that box. And then for Genesis, we probably had like, we had maybe like a total of like maybe like 30 games for the thing. Damn it, same thing. Power Slave. What's that for? I don't think I played it. I think I saw a thing on it, and it just made me think of the Iron Maiden song. So, to me, Power Slave, that's what that means. But I think that's a Saturn game. See, I don't even, that's one of those games like Little Samson, I don't recall that. That might honestly be in the box my brother has at his house. Like, I've seen like gameplay of it, but I don't recall it. I don't recall anyone having it. I mean, it's kind of crazy that like the amount of gamers I knew as a kid, it went up over time, but initially there wasn't many of us. And oh, come on, Mario. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Or I don't think I ever played that. I do gotta show my PS1 collection at some point. See, like, even, I've watched, like, you know, Tengen releases for NES, and I mean, in that same box, I swear we have 15 Tengen cartridges for like Tetris and what was it? I think RC Pro-Am. Like we had a whole bunch of them. We had this weird cartridge too for oh, what's the game with the Opa Opa? The frickin' like everyone talks about for NES, like the Maxi 21 or Maxi 18 or whatever. And it's like we got that from a family friend's kid, and my brother has that just at his house. It's like, yeah, Fantasy Zone. That's what it was. We have both just like a regular cartridge, and then we have this other weird one, and I'll never forget it because on the back it has like a little like toggle switch, and I want to say it moved like 3 or 4 positions. And as a kid, we just never knew what the hell it did. We were like, oh, it has the cool little indent. I'd have to find a picture of it because it's the only NES car I've ever seen like that, and it's just really strange. I meant for Fantasy Zone, but yeah, Maxi 15, like people call that like a holy grail, and I remember playing that all throughout being a kid, just because like we got it from a family friend's kid. He just was like, oh, you want it? And it had Quattro 4-in-1. That sounds familiar. Let's see. Fantasy Zone NES cart. See, I want to say the one we had was like Japanese, because we do have the Tengen. Because like I said, I always thought those cartridges were just cool as a kid. Like I remember the box for it. I remember we got that for Valentine's Day. Oh, I remember this one too. The oh, what the hell is that game's name? It's upside down here. Wait, go back. Yeah, Dizzy the Egg. That was another one that had like a little dip switch on the back. See, I want to say for the Fantasy Zone that I looked it up before, and I never saw it. It's like it might just be a cheap Japanese like knockoff, and that might be what it is. But I remember it being this like whitish like egg, kind of like yellow, like not transparent, but just made out of this like weird plastic. And I'm not gonna spend, I guess, too much time looking at that, but whatever. I typed in Power Slave New, and of course Iron Maiden showed up. True 30 level action. Yeah, I sort of remember, I think, watching like a review of this where it's kind of this like Doom-ish sort of dungeon crawler thing. I might have played that on the PlayStation back in the day. Like, man, back in the day. No, it wasn't. No, it was. I'm talking about for Fantasy Zone. No, I remember looking at Action 52, and that wasn't a game that we had, because I would definitely remember that. But that's like the holy super grail, whereas like a Maxi 15 is like a regular grail. And I think even still, like if I type that in, like because the one I remember, it has the cart, maybe a manual, and the sticker on the box. And I remember turning it on with the Maxi Vision with this dude going into this like cave before the menu comes up. And like everything to that one that, you know, is at my brother's house, it's in great shape. See, there's one here used, just the cartridge. And then a bunch of women in dresses. That's funny. See, Maxi 15, it's like a poster. Just typing in Maxi 15 NES game on Google doesn't yield a lot of results. You want to get Saga or Sega? Alright, yeah. I'm going to exit out of this course. I'm probably going to wrap this up shortly. But it's definitely been great talking to 3 or 4 of you just about old games. Like, I love... Man, are you pumped for the new one? That was a game, you know, I never played any of them. Like, maybe if I saw the one for Xbox 360, I'd probably play it. But even if I had a Sega Saturn, it's like, I would never... I mean, I guess if I was hardcore collecting, maybe I would buy it, because I know it's a good game as well. But even then, like, starting off paying $150 or even more, or being like, okay, you can maybe spend $130 on just a disc, and it's in a beat-up case, and then for $200, you might find one with the manual and everything complete, and then it's still, like, bent or ripped up. It's like, you start getting into that, at least I would, I'd start getting into that OCD territory where it's like, I'll wait out a couple more weeks and I'll save up a little bit more so that the manual's not bent. And then it's shipped to your house and you never know what the condition's going to be. Like, before Resident Evil 4 came out on the Switch, I was going to buy it on the Wii because I want to play it with motion controls, and I still do, and I'll probably just buy it digital, but I bought a copy on... I bought a copy off of eBay for like $2, and with shipping it was like $5, like $5, like $4.98. But it shipped from some dude down in South America, and the game showed up, and it was just like the case was beat, the paper sleeve in it was beat, and the disc is like, it looks like someone took like a hot lighter or a cigarette and like burned the bottom. Like, the disc, it wouldn't even play. There's no way it would play, and if it did, it wouldn't really play through much. And even though I only spent like $4 on that when I got it, I was like, oh, and I don't even buy stuff off of eBay. The only other thing I've ever bought off eBay was just like a month or two ago, and that was my copy of Animal Crossing for the GameCube with the memory card, and that showed up in immaculate condition. Even though it's a greatest hits, like, it's still, the memory card's in like perfect shape. The disc is not scratched or anything like that. Yeah, people definitely spend $60 for incomplete games. I mean, it depends what the game is, what system it's for, you know, all of that stuff. But it's like, with the NES, it's like, I remember my mom going to the Goodwill store and just coming back with 7 or 8 NES carts. Like, one would be like some crappy game, and it'd be all like the stickers like half peeled off, but then the other ones would be like, they were never touched, they'd be like perfect, and she'd be like, oh, they were like, you know, 50 cents each, a quarter each. And this was like probably almost 20 years ago. And at even at my local Goodwill, I still go there. I try to go like every week, but I don't even know what Deadly Towers is. There's so many games across so many systems, and it's crazy to see who grew up with what systems and what games, you know, were kind of like their, you know, like main staples. Let's do the Endless Challenge. I'll do a normal, and we'll keep this going for a few more minutes, and then I'll finish it up. King's Knight. That doesn't sound familiar to me, but I mean, you unless you like actually study Square, I think a lot of people think they know like what most of their games are, and then when they actually look, they're like, oh my god, I didn't realize like there's this one and this one and this one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh no!
Deadly Towers is trash. Yeah, I bought that, I bought the Sega Ages. Well, like, yeah, that's the Sega Ages, right? The collection with 50 on it. I bought that. That was like 20 bucks, and I was like, that's worth it, especially because it's handheld. So it's kind of weird, you know, that... You know, it's funny when you see, like... It's like, okay, the Switch is handheld, but, you know, a lot, like... I mean, in terms of console quality, like, that's one thing, but, you know, people will be like, oh, if Ocarina of Time came to the Switch, my life would be complete. Or they'll say things like, oh, Ocarina of Time, you know, like, these games they've never been portable before. And it's like, you never played them on DS or on the Game Boy. For a while, I was playing way too many indie games on the Switch. And since then, I've kind of calmed down because there's so many that look good. And that probably are good, but it's kind of like... Depending on how current and up-to-date you are. I mean, I have a lot of games that I bought on the Switch that I kind of wish I didn't buy. Even some of them were just cheap, like $2 or $4. I mean, now it's a lot different. Because, you know, Switch has been out for 2.5 years, so you actually pretty much go to the, yeah, Hollow Knight. That is a great game. And that's one that I haven't beat, because the next thing comes out, and the next one comes out, and the next one's coming, and I'm like, I might get that, and then I'm just like, nah, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and hold out on that for a while. And, it would be cool if Sega just, yeah, it would be cool if Sega had a new console. It's like, I was kind of talking about that last night, or the other day, I forget when the last time I live streamed was. It wasn't that long. Turkey's Basement. Good name. Kind of funny to just be like, hey, Turkey's Basement, have a good night. But, hey, Turkey's Basement, have a good night. I'll see you next time. No, Sega won't. But the thing that's weird is it's like... It's not the same people, it's not the same people making the games. Sure, some of them are still around, sure, some of them are still heading the company, but it's like... It's kind of like when people want, you know, it's like, okay, the Final Fantasy VII remake, that had a lot of money, and actually had a lot of access to the old archives, you know, from Square when they were Squaresoft, and some of those people still work there, and I'm sure they had plenty of people that don't even work there, or only worked on that game, who were given, like, phone calls, or tracked down, or even just message on Twitter from, you know, Japanese developers, and they're like, hey, I heard you worked on the original Final Fantasy VII, so when you guys were making this part, and the story, someone says this line, like... You know, just trying to find out basic, like, info about it, or trying to get a feel for what it was like at the time, and it's like, unfortunately, you can't go back to those times. So it's the same for Sega, because I was saying the other night how it's like, even if, you know, even though Sega still makes games, it's kind of like, oh, what did I say? I said it was kind of like renting like a hotel room and being like, oh, go ahead and, you know, set this place up like it's your bedroom. Like, you live here. Go ahead and treat yourself nice. Set it up nice. You would set it up and you'd be like, okay, this isn't too bad, but you'd be like, it's not like my home. It's not really like my bedroom. You'd be like, I'm still kind of just a guest here, or so it feels like. It's kind of like that for Sega. They're still doing new stuff. You know, they're still making games and stuff, but it's just not the same as how they did it, you know, at the end of the 90s. Like, the Dreamcast to me had, I mean, all the systems, even though I never played a Sega Saturn, it's like, some of the games I might not even like, but a lot of the ones that are on these, like, top Sega Saturn game lists, it's like, you can tell some of them are good games, even if maybe you wouldn't like them. You can still give credit where credit's due and say that, like, hey, I might not be into, you know, Nights into Dreams, but, like, you can tell when that came out in 1996 just how, like, groundbreaking a game like that would be to play. And all the systems have great games on them from Sega for sure. And they still make games, but not all of them are to that same quality. Like, you know, you see like Sega's name on, I mean, you know, I don't have a PS4, so I don't follow like some of their newest release. And I know they have like newer ones, but like one of the ones that comes to mind is what is it? What is that? Like action RPG Shining Refrain, something or other. And I heard it was like a good game. It was a kind of good game, like even like pretty good, but not like super amazing. And it's like you see like Sega's name on that and you're like, oh, they're still making games, cool. But it's like, you would think they'd be more driven since they're making money on all platforms and they have more of a opportunity to come out with super smash killer hits. But it's like, where is their new like Power Stone? Where is their new, you know, like all the great games they made on like the Dreamcast? And it's like it's a different time, different world, different people. And it was really sad to see, like, I don't even remember when the Dreamcast just died. And it was like, at the time, we didn't really think about it, like, oh, the thing's dead? Like, what happened to it so quick? It just seemed to happen, like, overnight, where it was like, oh, maybe this was, like, I guess, an older system in Japan, and so even though we just got it, like, 2 years ago, like, now you can't find this stuff in stores. Like, oh, that would make sense, I guess. Like, maybe it was out for a couple more years in Japan, because normally that doesn't happen, but, oh, you know, the PS2's out now, and we just didn't really think anything of it. And then you look back, and you're like, man, like, that all happened, like, really fast. Like, damn. So, I don't know. Sad to see. Yeah, I was thinking that. Power Stone is Capcom. I don't know why I said, Sega. But, like, just in general, even, like, you know, like the newest, like, you know, like Sonic Mania. I mean, it's like, unless you were there, you kind of don't really know. And it was made by, you know, the Christian Whitehead in collaboration with Sega. And it makes you wonder how much of it was really his, how much of it was really done. Was his game sort of almost that good, but not that polished? And then they were like, hey, we'll throw you some money, and then that way it can be basically a real game. Or did he just have that thing nailed so point on that they were just like, you can try releasing this on your own, but isn't it your dream to basically work for Sega? And that basically the finished product by him was what we got, and Sega just came along to make some money and be like, hey, we can basically, like, you know, restart the franchise, at least in the 2D way, because we had Sonic Mania come out, and that got barely half a thumbs up. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm sitting here in the main menu. Like, yeah, it's too late. Sega CD boy. Sega CD man. And Lewis Power. And Fake Mustache 25. In the Turkey's basement. And Gaming with Leppy. You guys have all been great. I know one of you asked when my next stream would be, and I didn't answer, whoever that was, so for that I apologize. It's probably going to be tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Sunday. I don't think I have much going on. I want to stream for like a good couple hours, so I might even put a video up. I think I'll probably do that. So, yeah. I hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. For real. And I guess if any of you guys are around tomorrow, I'll catch you then. So this is D-Dub saying peace out. I hope you guys have a good night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.